Face front, true believers. This is Modular Media's No Prize podcast, the podcast where we talk Marvel comics, movies, merchandise, and more. I am your host, Chris A. Boingo Writer Gaston, with me as always in the bullpen.
Representing the barrel rolling competition, the Vacuuminator is here.
Barrel.
Yeah. That actually split quite well. I'm impressed.
Hello, everybody. This is No Prize podcast. We're gonna talk comics and a variety of things.
Is that what we do here?
No, we bitch and moan.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I love how that's not even like a joke.
We bitch and moan about other people's bitch and moaning mostly, though,
We
so it
bitch
is somewhat entertaining. We are the only video reply left on YouTube.
We'll call them assholes so you don't have to.
Yeah. Oh, man. Who's it going to be this week? Sal Linkara? Some random fucking Reddit user? I don't know.
There's going to be several people, and we both know who that's going to be. Foreshadowing, it hints on his forehead. It'll make sense when we get there.
Yeah.
Don't worry. We're good. We're good. We're good.
We're
You know what
okay.
was also good? This last episode of Ms.Marvel.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Pretty good. It's a little part 6 for a part 5, but pretty good.
It does a lot. It does a lot that I don't feel comfortable commenting on.
Oh yes. Because also this episode heavily deals with the fucking partition.
Yeah. And for anyone wondering, I asked Buster. Buster has noped the fuck out of the show.
Yeah.
Not because they don't like it, but just because they don't want to deal with the conversation anymore.
That's totally fair. They are an anxious little individual.
Yeah, they're a little ball
of anxiety.
I was gonna think about an alliterative thing to add to it, but I decided against it, and then you cut me off, you bitch.
Hey, fuck off. We're doing good shit here. Yeah,
Marvel.
Ms.Marvel, episode 5, basically is the new... You could correct me because I don't know if they go into the family history like this in the comics, but basically, this is Kamala's new origin. This is like the completion of her origin story.
Yeah, I haven't I haven't read past the Willow Wilson run, but they touch on it briefly in that, and they kind of hit similar beats to this, but they don't flesh it out to this extent. And I don't think the thing about the grandma being guided by a field of stars is in there.
No, but it fits for the story they're telling, and it's the best way I can describe it without understanding the whole cultural context, because like, yeah, we can see that marching people across a vast it's a horrible tragedy. We empathize in that way, but we don't understand some of the greater cultural impact that might have had on everybody.
Let's put it this way. I don't know about Boingo, but like I didn't even know this particular partition was a thing until I read Ms.Marvel the first time.
Yeah, I knew
That's how poorly educated white people we are.
Hey, here's the thing. It's not necessarily that. It's just we're more heavily... the education we're given is much more heavily focused on waspiness. It's much more focused on aristocratic British people and what they find important.
Mm-hmm.
And that has just kind of seeped into American ideology all these years later, to the point where it's like,
well, and there's just shit they don't teach kids in school because they think it's too sensitive a subject for kids to understand, and they're wrong about that. But
you just got to take it with a deft hand with kids. Remember,
like, I didn't like. There's a lot of stuff like that too. Like, it's not just this. I didn't know about oh god, what's the word? I didn't know about apartheid until I started watching Trevor Noah's comedy.
Yeah,
I didn't know about, like, I kind of vaguely knew that it was a thing, but I didn't know the extent of the AIDS epidemic until I read the autobiography of Michael Caine, because he lived in a city with a bunch of gay men when it was happening.
Yeah, and it's just little things like, because again, that's just things that upper crusty people just don't want you to think about. It's like, no, see the division. Stop it.
Yeah.
Everything's fine. You know.
Mm.
Um.
So I guess thank you, Marvel and Disney, for educating me.
Well, thank you for creating the spark for us to go educate ourselves. This isn't the
Yeah.
final nail in us learning about this stuff. This is us going. This is a thing that we need to understand to better understand humanity as a whole.
Yeah, if anybody wants to recommend like a book or a documentary about apartheid I could go check out, please
Yeah.
do. Or I'm sorry, partition. Yeah.
Partition. Yeah. You got fucking human tragedies just mixed
Yeah.
up in your head.
So I'll take ones on apartheid too. I should probably do that as well. Send me all the books about the tragic non-white people shit, please.
Also, the tragic white people shit, because sometimes we forget about that too. Hey, remember Armenian genocide,
Or the Dust Bowl.
or goddamn potato famine.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy, genocide in all but name.
Yeah.
But no, back to the non-white people, because we're too self-centered. I'm glad that I could get a kick out of you, bud.
It just got a bit much for me right there. I'm sorry. All right.
What are we? Oh, what am I too woke for you? Is the
No.
wokeness ruining comics?
We were just saying the same words over and over again, and it got to a point where I'm like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah, we are ridiculous.
So
we are ridiculous. Why does anybody watch this podcast?
Yeah, why are the 5 of you watching right now? Let's move the fuck on and talk about
I will just say the love story between the great grandmother and the great grandfather, beautiful.
oh yeah, it's real cute.
Some of the most pretty people I've ever seen on in a moving picture.
Yeah. And it's very simple stuff too. Like
Yeah.
it's a few quick beats and you get it. You get what's going on.
You get the simple poetry and the way they're talking to each other and all that kind of stuff. And the great grandfather gets a nice little character arc because he's so adamantly pro the whole we need to separate from British rule peacefully and all that kind of stuff, and then it's like, oh yeah, but if you're Muslim, get the fuck out. And it's like, it hurts him, and you see that, and it's really well acted. Good job, dude.
Yeah.
And then we get to the train scene where Kamala learns, oh wait a second, I need to actualize my grandmother's return to her father so she can go and live a good life.
It's all oh my god, it's all connected.
But then she
Hashtag it's all connected, everybody.
but then she fails, and then the grandmother's own power does it for herself. And she goes and she goes to the dad, and she's like, oh, I see, this is just my family, and this is the history I need to learn and internalize as a person so I can grow and be a good superhero.
Yeah.
Which, again, as a person who is adamant that no one gives a shit about the Inhumans, perfect way to have have Kamala Khan self-actualize by herself as a hero.
Without going to Adalan.
Without having to deal with goddamn... Because here's the thing. I love Ms.Marvel in the comics, too, but there's an extent where there was a period of time... She's grown out of it, the character. People have been writing stuff around, like, beyond it. But there was a time where she was a very meta character in the same vein as, like, Gwenpool, in my opinion, where it was much more about hanging a hat on, she's a Marvel fangirl, she's an Inhuman, that's the stuff that's going on. She likes Captain...
We got a couple moments like that, but I don't think it was ever like super bad.
It wasn't super bad, but it took a second to get to a full, like, beyond that. And I like how this is just starting beyond it in the beginning. Like, yeah, she's influenced by Captain Marvel, but it's just more of like she likes the character, and she's not having a self-doubt panic attack about it, you
And
know?
well, and I mean, who knows? We haven't seen her with any pre-established Marvel characters yet.
Yeah. Um, I guarantee you the fucking and like mid credit scene is she's gonna run into fucking Ant-Man because they've been making Ant-Man references this entire time.
There could be that, or it could just be Carol Danvers knocking on her front door.
I think it'd be funnier with Ant-Man.
That's true.
Like,
And I mean, he has been in a bunch of stuff lately. Like he was at that. There was a bunch of footage of him and what's her name, who plays Wasp and is a trumper
oh yeah,
for the Avengers restaurant. And
yeah.
then Paul Rudd did a really good thing for a kid that was being bullied recently. So like, yeah, he's in the public consciousness.
But I just think it'd be funny if like her mom just goes like, Kamala, there's a hero superhero here for you, and she's going like, oh my god, is it Captain Marvel? Is it Captain Marvel? And she runs down and she opens the door and it's just Scott Lang going like, hey buddy.
Ms.Marvel will return in Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania.
But like, I just think that'd be a funny because you know Kamala would be happy but a little crestfallen, and that just fits the reaction Scott Lang should always get. This is like, I'm glad you were around and I'm happy for you, but like, I was hoping for someone else.
Could have been could have been someone else.
I just think it'd be funny, a cute little throwaway gag. You know,
Yeah.
uh,
Um Bruno got blowed up in a very awkward final scene that doesn't gel with the entire rest of the episode. It's
no,
just like, oh, we have to set up what's happening in episode 6 now. We have 10 seconds.
yeah, but hey, it's also there was a little bit before that with Bruno and the other dude,
Come
uh,
on.
Kamran, having a little bit of like a, oh shit, I didn't realize I was being an asshole to you moment, and they kind of come to an understanding, and it's just like, yeah, no, dude, I'll help you out. You're in trouble. Things are happening. Yeah, no, I got your back. Wait, what the fuck? Boom.
Yeah. That feels like that's just there to put Kamala in distress at the beginning of the next episode.
Yeah. Uh,
Um which is interesting because I had from the start just been like, oh, Bruno's going to make her actual costume. That's where they're going. But then they have that little scene with the mom and the grandma looking at her necklace, and it's the logo, and I'm like, are they going to make her costume?
I
Because
think
Bruno got blown up. He can't make a costume right
here's the
now.
thing. I think it's going to be both of them.
Mm,
Her American life and her American friends working together with her family and her tradition and the stuff that she's, I wouldn't say learned to appreciate more, but just has a greater scope and context of now.
yeah, they just have a whole montage of
Them working
Bruno,
together.
Nakia, the mom, and the grandma making a costume.
Yeah, and just like working together all for Kamala, and it's like a summation of like who Kamala is as a person. It is her Pakistani and Muslim roots and the American friends she's made and the hopes and ideals and heroism she's learned from the Marvel heroes.
Yeah, that could be really cool. But that's also something we need to comment on with this episode. Mom knows she has powers and is kind of cool with it. They did the comic thing of her finding out first.
It's just like less of to me it was less like I am 100% cool with it, and it's just more like this explains so much. I'm sorry I was a little bit angry, but I understand why.
Yeah,
Because it's not like Aunt May just going like, "Oh shit, you're Spider-Man. That's cool," you know.
mhm. It
Uh,
is. We're gonna have to talk about this later, but for right now, do what you got to do.
yeah. Also, crazy lady got disintegrated into a skeleton.
In one of the goofiest effects I've seen in one of these Disney Plus
Yeah,
shows, I got it.
that's something. I think that's something we got to start bringing up more. Is VFX artists are getting abused by Marvel.
Yeah,
For as much as we like these shows, as much as we say how well they're done, it's not to that extent, not to that expense. Also, Taika Waititi, you stop being a dickhead to your VFX artist. That was kind of gross.
what's that about? I didn't hear about this.
He did an interview with like Wired or something with one of the co-stars of the movie, and they were breaking down scenes, and he started I can see where his mind was. It's we're all in this together. I'm gonna banter and poke fun at the VFX department, and he was basically like making jabs at some of the VFX that were in the scene that they were discussing, and that on top of the general poor management VFX have had with Marvel, it just comes off a little wrong. It comes off rough.
I see.
You know, it's just not a great look.
Yeah. I also just like don't think he has a great relationship with his VFX department in general because he fucking shoots a crap ton of stuff and just decides by the seat of his pants what's actually going to make it in the movie.
Yeah, it's the wrong it he needs to have a secondary person right there beside him to help like focus it.
Like apparently there's somebody suing Marvel Studios right now because they had a substantial role in Love and Thunder that got completely cut out.
Mm. Yeah, like I can understand that, but it's like that's gonna be the thing with Marvel and letting directors have more of their own style. Taika Waititi's a very improvisational,
Yeah.
very loose style, and that comes with the territory.
Which is part of why I didn't like Ragnarok. A lot of it just felt like just spitballing SNL skit ideas and then making it up and then sewing it together in the editing room.
Yeah, and I understand that. I there's a vibe with that I can vibe with, you know.
Mhm. But that's an entirely different matter. Do we have anything else to say about this episode of Miss Marvel?
Um, overall, I like the refining of her powers. I like how
Yeah,
they've kind of settled on this is kind of what she does. It's not exactly the comics, but it's kind of like it. It's just more of like you
she's a
vibe.
discount store Green Lantern.
I wouldn't even go that far. She's a Happy Meal toy Green Lantern. But you
I'm
know,
sorry, Buster.
um, no, it's solid. It's good. Next episode's probably going to be a little bit more clinchy than others because it has
Gonna be
been
a
a little.
lot.
I wouldn't say it's been hit or miss, but it's been a little bit more roller coastery.
Yeah. Like this is the first one that we've been like really walking on eggshells with our discussion about.
Yeah. I mean, I've enjoyed it. I've liked it, but I wouldn't say I liked it more than Falcon or WandaVision or Loki or anything like that or Moon Knight.
Yeah.
And
It's
I'm not
it's
even saying it's weak. It's just like, it's,
I'm gonna have to think about that after I watch the last episode, what my ranking of the Disney Plus shows will be now.
yeah. And we'll just have She-Hulk.
Mhm.
That's
We have
next.
She What is after She-Hulk? Because Armor Wars and Loki season 2 just started shooting.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a break,
Hmm.
which I think a lot of people will be fucking happy for.
Yeah.
Which I don't blame Marvel for just having this deluge of content because it's just like we waited 2 years to release anything, so we've been sitting on it. So let's get it out.
Yeah.
But I definitely think limit TV shows to two a year, one season a thing.
Hmm.
You
And
know,
a lot of the people who just go see the movies, a lot of the normies haven't been super enthusiastic about this phase. Like Connor from Trash Taste just went on a huge rant about Multiverse of Madness, and then like a week later, he went on a rant on the show again about people commenting, "Well, if you just watch WandaVision, blah 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 blah," and he's like, "I don't have time for that shit."
then don't complain when you don't have time to read the material.
Yeah,
You know, they tell you, hey, if you want to have more information, here it is. You know, I don't know.
I don't know.
I have very
It's the same thing as people saying like, "Oh, the books or the cartoon shows aren't real Star Wars."
no. I don't know. I have grown to have very little patience for people who expect everything to just be given to them. You know,
Yeah.
Oh, I want the entirety of the story. Okay, cool. Well, you gotta go read this thing to get this bit. No, I don't. Just tell me. I am telling you. It's right here. No, I don't want to go through that effort.
No, I mean, give me a synopsis. Give me a YouTube video I can watch.
It's frustrating. And then there's going to always be a contention of people going like, "Oh, you're gatekeeping." It's like, no, I'm asking you to do your research.
I'm asking you to do the work.
Like, if you're gonna talk about a thing, know what you're talking about.
Like, fucking thing we talked about on Twit last week. It it's kind of annoying, but like the Toei Tokusatsu specials for Revice, especially the Kamen Rider Veil show, are basically required reading for that series at this point.
Mm.
So if you didn't watch them, you probably didn't enjoy not this week's episode, but the previous week's episode of Revice. But that's on you, man, because that was a great episode. If you know what they were hinting at.
Yep. Hey, let's get on to the news.
Well, first and foremost,
Oh
we
yeah,
should
we need to.
say,
Hey, that's news for us. It's our news, so I'm not wrong.
yeah.
Um,
First and foremost, I have seen For Love and Thunder. Boingo was not able to get a commitment to go see it, and will probably be waiting for Disney Plus.
yep.
And I had such a crummy time at the theaters that I've just decided, fuck it, I'm waiting for Disney Plus from now on.
Unless
I will.
something changes and something big happens, it's probably gonna be how it operates from here on out.
Yeah, and like nothing against that movie. I enjoyed Love and Thunder quite a bit. I think it's better than Ragnarok. I liked a lot of things about it. It's still not what I would call a perfect four movie, but it gets pretty close.
Yep.
But just everything else about my movie going experience was so shit that I was like, why do I do this to myself? Like, I even chose to eat $20 and not go to a Fathom event I had already bought a ticket for today.
Oof.
Yeah.
But hey, on to other
Uh,
news. Unless you
um,
have more announcements you want to make.
well, other thing is, we should mention a lot lighter of a news week this week, and
Oh
that's
yeah.
because most everybody is holding shit back because the first proper San Diego Comic Con since 2019 is this Thursday through Sunday. So there's probably going to be a lot of news over the coming weekend. I will do my best to gather it all up for
Yeah,
the
and I'll
show.
try to keep
But
it more of an eye because like I just get busy with things, so I kind of let that kind of news aggregate for the
we're
show.
probably gonna get a couple of trailers for like Marvel and DC things. We might find out what the official Phase 5 timeline is.
Yeah.
We might. We're definitely gonna get at least one or two big stories from the comic book companies, and there's gonna be a lot of toy reveals.
Yep.
So I'll do my best to gather everything out. But just in case, if you see something you think I might miss, hey, we have a Twitter at the Modular Media. Send us links to stories you want us to cover. That's always something you can do.
Yep. Also, hello, Kelvin.
Hello.
Uh, yeah, no, it's just more of like a whole big situation with everything to not be able to go see it. But hey, it's coming to
Yeah.
Disney Plus sooner or later.
Like Multiverse of Madness was on Disney Plus after like a month and a couple of days. We'll be good.
Yeah, we'll be fine. Everything will be hunky dory. But no, time to actually talk some news. Some
Uh-huh.
news.
News, news,
News. Hey,
news, news,
first
news, news,
thing.
news, 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 news.
Okay, first off, we have a new multiverse Spider-Man, and they're gay.
Hooray? Question mark. I don't know if this is a big deal anymore.
I mean, it's like it's neat, it's cool, but like
Also,
this,
insert joke about Disney's 1001st gay character here.
yeah. Here's the thing. I wouldn't even say it's like a bad thing to kind of like. It's just why is there a press release? I don't think we need a press release.
Yeah.
Costume's nice. I like the inspiration of a real spider.
Web Weaver is an interesting name.
Um, it. There's a part of me that's afraid it might lean a little bit too hard into stereotypes.
we'll have to see how the character's written.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying.
Mhm. Also, they're fighting a big.
I don't think they're fighting
Uh,
Craven. I think that's just another side story within the
might
anthology.
be, because this character is going to be debuting in Edge of Spider-Verse #5, which is coming in September.
Because you got to remember the old Edge of Spider Verses had like 2 issues most of the time.
Mhm.
Uh,
Yeah, that is the one thing we're probably going to have to keep going to theaters to see is stuff that's co-owned, like the Spider-Man movies.
yeah, Spider Man. Where are you? Is there a comment I'm not seeing? Weird.
Just that Kelvin said it won't be long before Love and Thunder is on
Oh yeah, yeah,
Disney
yeah.
Plus. That sparked my brain to go like, oh yeah, the Spider-Man movies aren't on Disney Plus yet. Except I think they just finally were able to add Homecoming.
Yeah, it's just a lot of rigmarole.
Sony.
But hey, we got another comic announcement from Marvel. Wakanda, a Black Panther spin-off series, which takes a more bigger aim at the land itself and the people that live in there, not just T'Challa.
Yeah. Though it's going to be mostly starring comic book Shuri and Killmonger.
Uh, I see they have rebooted Killmonger to resemble the MCU.
Hmm.
Here's the thing: I was
Uh,
go.
I I just don't know, man. Like it, I liked the Black Panther movie fine, but it wasn't enough to get me excited about Black Panther comics. And this seems like a very blatant, hey, there's going to be a movie with Shuri in it coming out soon, and Wakanda is a name we're going to try and market really hard, so we should make a comic about those things.
I don't mind that kind of thing because it's just not. It's blatant, but it's not like soulless. There's a thought behind it. It's just like, okay, let's explore some of these things. And here's the other thing I just want to say about Marvel and rebooting comic characters to look like their MCU counterparts. If the comic character has nothing really going on and no one cared about him for the last few years, yeah, you can refresh them with the MCU ideas. I don't mind that.
Also, this is being written by Stephanie Williams and Evan Nesieza. I've never heard of either of these people.
Yeah. Oh, the covers look neat. And we'll just have to see when it comes out.
Man.
Yep. Yep, yep, yep. But we also have a new teaser for Judgment Day, which is going to be the big event that they have been teasing for like last 2 years.
Yeah.
Which I'm glad it's been 2 years. I'm glad they're actually it's not an annual thing because Empire was 2020, and it's been
correct.
like that's the last one I remember being the big thing.
They did Empire and Contagion at the same time, didn't they?
I don't think so. I think Contagion was a little earlier.
But there was a
Because no, there
yeah,
was
no, it's been a minute.
Empire. I think the biggest ones have been like some of the Krakoa events, maybe
Yeah.
King in Black. There hasn't been like a big fuck off Marvel event lately. So like, yeah, no, it's nice. But Marvel teases the most important people in the Marvel universe, and it's a bunch of average people from all over the world just seemingly living regular lives, and this going like they're all important.
$10 says they're all either mutants or Eternals, and they
There's
just don't know it yet.
there's something going on with them. Or there's like some weird connection we just don't know that they're kind of. I like how they're kind of like presenting these as like this is a weird mystery. These are important. Speculate.
Yeah.
It could
So,
bite.
so you're definitely gonna read Judgment Day, right?
I have been reading X-Men and Eternals. The only book I have not been reading is Avengers. Yes, I'm reading this.
All right, cool. Then I don't have to.
God damn it, Jason Aaron, please. I loved you when you wrote Doctor Strange. Please just stop writing Avengers. I don't want to
Like, that's just kind of my mentality with things now. If I don't actively want to read something, but I think it's like going to be important, my brain immediately goes, "Will Boingo read this?"
Is it
'Cause it's
Marvel?
like-
Probably.
Because it's like I'm reading Dark Crisis now because I feel like I should read that to be able to answer questions people will ask me about DC, and you're sure as fuck not gonna read it. So
No. But yeah, no. Also, hey, what's up, dude from Yick, Postmodern RPG?
I don't understand that reference.
Okay, so there's this weird indie game called Y2K, a postmodern RPG, and it's dog shit. It is just people have trashed it.
Okay.
Um, and the dude, Tom, looks like the main character in it.
Hmm.
So here's the main character of that game,
Oh yeah,
and here's Tom.
I do like him though. I like his Jack Kirby monster pajama shirt.
Yeah, yeah. I like he's just like regular living regular lives, and then there's this dude having like sleep anxiety. This person from Yokohama,
Yeah,
she's anxious. I think that's like an anti-mutant rally.
looks like it.
Yeah, yeah. Immortality. Immort is for yeah. Daniela and Sempalo. It's gonna be interesting.
Yeah.
I think they might be new externals.
Ooh.
Which, if you
No, no, no,
don't,
no. Dude, they're the new clandestines.
fuck off, you son of a bitch! You goddamn son of a bitch!
That's
You
what they're
know,
gonna do. They're gonna reboot clandestines to be like it's all part of the grand plan.
you son of a bitch! I fucking hate that you're possibly right. No, but for people who don't know, externals are a kind of mutant that are immortal.
Hmm.
So Apocalypse. There's a couple
Yeah.
others, but Apocalypse is like the big one. Hey, guess what?
Hey,
We got
what?
some Scott Pilgrim teases of Scott Pilgrim projects and new art from Brandon Lee O'Malley.
He's potentially working on a sequel or some kind of spin-off thing.
Yeah, I
Interesting.
I might. Here's the thing. It's not necessarily like I don't like his work anymore. I don't like Scott Pilgrim. It's just I read Snot Girl, and I just was like, I don't like this, and I haven't thought about his work since. Just
It's
be
okay not to like one thing somebody
no,
made.
no, no. It just put a bad taste in my mouth, and I like his. I like Scott Pilgrim, so I want to like. I like that taste, but I dislike this one, so I just haven't thought about it. So it's just
Have
like
you read Seconds yet?
I need to.
Seconds is really good. I'd recommend you go read it.
I think I don't know. There's just something about Snot Girl that I fucking despise. Just
Mm,
do not like. I
interesting.
think it's mostly just because everybody is Scott. You know,
Oh,
because you know how in Scott Pilgrim, Scott's a dickhead, but he has like everyone around him's kind of a nice person who's trying to help,
yeah.
and that everyone is Scott.
Yeah, I would hate that because like I have trouble getting through Scott Pilgrim sometimes because I don't like Scott so much.
Yeah. But hey, if we're getting a new Scott project, who knows? Might be good. There's also been hints that they're going to do an animated adaptation of it as well.
Actually, there's an official one in development at Netflix, and he confirmed this is not what he was hinting at.
Ooh. Is it still at development at Netflix?
Yes.
All right. We'll fucking put a counter on that till it gets canceled. But yeah, Brandon Lee O'Malley. Also, cute as fuck art.
Yeah,
That's a cute girl. Look at that
I
cute
like that girl. I want to know more about that girl.
Uh, I think it's just like a character he drew. I don't think it's related to the thing. It's just more because the description he drew. This drew this to see if I knew how to still draw. I spent all my time working on this new secret project that no one knows about. It's fun. It's cute.
Yeah.
Uh, hey,
Hey.
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 We got a new Hot Toys.
Yeah.
They're toys.
Hot
They're
Toy.
hot.
their official Toy Fair exclusive for 2022 because Toy Fair is going to be in winter now.
Ooh.
Uh, it's holographic Iron Man. It's a repaint of the Endgame nanotech Iron Man.
It's a Hot Toys. It sure looks expensive. Sure
Uh-huh.
looks like a collector's item.
I like this colorway. It makes this design that I've always thought is way too sleek to be Iron Man work a lot better in my opinion.
Yeah. I'm gonna get you. Yeah, I'm gonna get you. I got the Kirby closet. I'm gonna get you.
That and it kind of reminds me of Mega Man.
I can see that. Part of me just looks at this color scheme and just go like, it looks like a de-weaponized War Machine.
Mm.
Not in a bad way. It's just like it's a Hot Toys. Are you rich? Do you collect Hot Toys? Here you go. If not, the rest of us poor motherfuckers can get something else.
Yeah.
Like this boy, which is a new McFarlane Multiverse Superman toy.
Yeah, this really befuddled me for a second because I was like, whoa, he's already making a Warworld Saga figure? That's awesome. Apparently this is a future state thing. Like apparently Superman had this exact look in a future state story as well.
The fuck was Future State?
I don't even know. I read like the first issue and a half of the Supergirl Future State book and gave up.
I think a lot of DC fans did.
Yeah. Because that was during the like period of 6 to 8 months when DC we didn't know what DC as a company was anymore.
Yeah. It's a cool looking Superman, but like I have no attachment to him.
He looks like the most Superman in the universe.
Also with the Kingdom Come S for whatever reason. That's fine. It looks cool. Hey, here's a toy I think we're all fucking excited for. It's Superhero Static Shock.
It's New 52 Static Shock.
It's still Static. Static's dope.
I've never heard anybody say anything about the New 52 Static Shock series. So, like, I was utterly shocked to see this design as a figure. I'm like, is this just Todd going full, I want to make designs that have never been an action figure before?
I don't know. It's Static. I like Static. It's nice to see a Static toy.
Okay. I agree. I like Static. It's just like I'm just too befuddled by the choice made here.
Especially with the new Milestone books happening. Why not just make that Static?
Yeah.
I don't think he has a costume yet. I think that might be the reason.
Or make the first highly articulated figure of Cartoon Static.
Cartoon Static, or maybe like second version of Classic Milestone.
Yeah, because didn't they redesign him in the classic series to be more like the cartoon at one point?
The redesign came much before the cartoon. Hello, Yanato from Indonesia.
Yeah, I didn't know you were the entire country of Indonesia. That's impressive.
We shouldn't be joking like that, bud.
I can't help it.
You can't help being a dickhead.
Yeah.
Hey,
it's in my nature.
Speaking of dickheads, new Judge Dredd figures.
Yeah, Hyatt Toys has like barely released anything from this line yet. I think it's supposed to start releasing in December, and they're already soliciting black and white repaints.
I mean,
that's knuckin' futz.
I mean, he looks cool. He looks like a fucking classic black and white British comic.
Yeah. I mean, if I was going to collect this line, I'd probably be interested in that, but like it's just it's a bit of a bizarre choice to already be soliciting straight up repaints this early to me.
Yeah. This guy looks cool. It's just they're repaints of Judge Dredd figures, but like none of the Judge Dredd figures have come out yet.
Also, like, where the hell is the 6-inch line y'all promised when you first got the license?
Judge Dredd is cool. There's figures of him.
Yeah. That's the news, everybody. Congratulations.
Congratulations!
I too have watched anime.
Are you proud of yourself for that?
No.
Okay. Hey,
Hey.
guess what? It's time for comic books. You want to talk about comic books?
Well, I guess we can do that. We could talk about comic books on our comic book show.
Oh yeah. Hey, guess what?
Oh,
Guess what we
am I the
both read?
first? Oh, okay. Here we go.
We read Captain America: Sentinel of
Oh,
Liberty.
I thought it was going to be the other one for a second. Uh, no, this is good. I really liked this issue. I actually liked it a lot more than the first one.
This was really good. It's Steve doing what Steve does best, which is tackle the concept of what does it mean to be a symbol of America.
And punch a bunch of fuckers.
Punch a lot of fuckers.
Mhm. And
Uh,
he teaches a kid how to punch, and it's really cute.
Teaches a kid how to punch. He actually, I thought, oh, we're just gonna see all these fun art school friends for like the first issue, and then we're getting into Captain America stuff. No, Steve goes to them for advice.
Yeah, I get the feeling they're going to be reoccurring. Like they're going to be his Foggy Nelson and Karen Page.
Yeah. Also, we have a continued old people radio thing. I feel like they're gonna be his oracle.
A little bit, yeah.
But yeah, no, Steve is just kind of like tackling. Okay, people are coming fighting. I need to figure this shit out. What does the shield mean? I need to figure. I don't even know who designed it. And his friend, the art school friend, was just like, "Oh, hey, real quick, I'm gonna Google that for you." What?
Which threw me for a second because I was like, wait, Howard Stark didn't make the Shield in the comics too?
Oh,
MCU brainwashed me on that.
MCU brainwash you, buddy. No, the guy just goes like, it's this dude. Not a ton of information. Sorry, it wasn't much help. And he's just like, hey, it's more information than I had in the beginning. Thank you.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I love it when Steve just like thanks people and just like,
Steve being a good boy.
yeah, Steve be good boy.
Mhm.
Give Steve a big titty goth girlfriend because he is golden hair, golden retriever with fluffy hair, with undiagnosed ADHD.
You just want
Gamer boy.
You just want Steve to get together with Black Cat. You just want that to happen.
That would be
since
cute,
we got
though.
that one issue.
That would be cute though. Come on.
It would be interesting.
It would be the fucking funniest thing in the world. Cause just
But
imagine Peter's reaction to that.
Yeah.
Oh, Felicia, you got someone? You're seeing someone? Oh yeah. In fact, he's gonna be here in a minute. Oh, sweet. You know I'm gonna rib him, right? Because we used to date, but I kind of see like we're friends, and I look out for you. Oh my God, it's Captain America. Fuck.
I'm just trying to think what Peter's reaction would be to the fact that he and Captain America have slept with the same woman. Like when he realizes that, what's his brain gonna do?
I have no idea, bud. But no. But Steve is just searching for clues and does all that stuff. He goes to a power plant in Germany. I love his little monologue about what happened to Germany after World War II.
Uh-huh.
It's just a nice, simple little thing of just like sometimes the bullies learn their lesson and then they try to be better.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
So speaking of love interests for Steve, how do you feel about the last page reveal?
I have a feeling it's going to be very contentious considering where they might be going.
Mm-hmm.
Because Peggy Carter in the comics have not always been like Peggy Carter in the MCU.
No. Peggy Carter is like a breakout character in the MCU because she's barely a character in the comics for the longest time.
Yeah. I do like Bucky being 007 though.
Oh yeah, that's a
cute.
good fit for him.
It's super cute. Yeah, no, it's going to be interesting. They're going in an interesting place. I like how the bad guy Steve is fighting use all of the symbols of everyone Steve fights. He's like, oh, Hydra iconography, AIM suits, hand techniques. Who are these people? Where are they coming from?
And it turns out Steve's just got his own version, his own personal Orcus now.
Yeah, his own personal Orcus, full with like organization of like the power agrees, money said. Like it's just like, oh, it's that one gif. I know people who use symbolism. Symbolism is for cowards. No, no, no. The quote is, I know people who use symbolism. They are all cowards. I am not a coward. It's fun. It's fine. It's comic books.
Yeah.
You can be blunt with a comic book.
Um,
But overall, we're still enjoying it.
yeah. I liked it.
Hey, here's a book you fucking dropped immediately. Legion of X.
How's that? Look, I'm gonna be honest. Legion of X is one of those books where I'm like, I should probably read this because it's important. But Boingo will just tell me everything anyway.
Okay, broad strokes. That one Iraqi person is still trying to find the god. They get the person who's been body jumping, and they figure out, oh, they're body jumping not because of their mutant power, but because they've been praying to that one god. So they now have, like, magic. Okay, we now have a lead. Juggernaut has been feeling a crisis of, like, essentially it's like, I don't, like, it was only for a few minutes, but I was possessed and it felt like eternity inside my own head. And I feel real bad all about it. And he's talking to Legion about it. And, like, there's a cute moment where he goes, like, where Legion goes, like, hey, Juggernaut. And he goes, like, hey, you don't have to call me that. You can call me Kane. Or Uncle C. Or Uncle C. I mean, I'd like that. Like, he wants to have a familial connection with him. Because he is his uncle. And guess what? Legion indulges in that and goes like, hey, come on, Uncle C. Don't have to worry about that. You're working with us, you know? And it's nice.
Yeah.
They surf the collective unconscious. They do some things. They're trying to figure things out.
Quick question. Sidebar.
Yes.
Has there ever been a scene where all of the Xavier siblings are in a room together? Like, I want a scene of Cassandra, Charles, and Kane just hanging out talking about their fucked up childhood.
Jesus Christ. I would love that. And oh my god. An Xavier family dinner.
Yeah.
Xavier, Cassandra, Kane, Legion, fucking his bird daughter.
And his good waifu. Or is she dead right now?
I have no idea.
Oh.
But yeah, it's fun. They do a lot of things. Yeah. Legion of X. It is a little psychedelic. It's a little trippy, but it's good.
Okay.
I also read Black Panther.
Oh yeah, that's right. You're reading Black Panther. I just talked on Black Panther earlier in the show, and I forgot you're reading it.
Yeah, no, it's understandable. Basically, this whole thing is the sides of the Wakandan Civil War are kind of like solidifying, and they're getting the last bits of the power that they need in order to fight the battle.
Is that Alex Ross?
I think it might be an Alex Ross.
He did a great job on that storm.
Oh yeah. Sad moment for Storm and Black Panther fans. There is a moment where basically T'Challa's going like, "Yeah, I fucked up way too many times to ever be king again. I don't want this. I fucked up everything. I fucked up our relationship. Can you ever forgive me, Storm?" And she's like, "Here's the thing. You were a king, and I understand why you did these things, but ultimately, they fucking hurt, and I can probably never forgive you for that. I'm gonna help you because I'm your friend. I'm gonna help you, and I will always care for you, but there will always be a part of me that might not forgive you."
Fuck, man.
I have a feeling that's a setup for something happening to T'Challa and her going like, "Fuck, I still care, fuck."
Potential.
But yeah, no, it's just the sides gathering up soldiers and figuring out what they're going to do for the battle.
Ooh.
Yeah. And T'Challa going like, I fucked up. I fucked up a lot. I need your help. and there's no way I can make this up for you, but I need your help. And they're all going like, yeah, because you're a fuck up.
So this book is basically what if Black Panther, but also Iron Man.
A little bit, but it's less about like, hey, I completely destroyed everything, and it's just more of like my wanting to be a good king and the paranoia that that entails ultimately broke the trust of the people I care about. It's less of I genuinely fucked things up, and it's more of like I fucked up my own life. It's more Daredevil than it's Iron Man,
Hmm.
because it's more about the secrets he held and not telling and trusting his compatriots. You know,
Yeah.
it's not. It was the lack of trust he had in Storm. Because here's the thing: if he had just told Storm, "Hey, by the way, I'm still like talking to him for Wakanda and everything. He's doing this kind of stuff and blah blah blah. Here's the information." She would have been like, "Oh yeah, no, I don't like it, but I understand why you're doing it. It's the secrets that he held. It's the fact that he hid it from her. Because he's supposed to be more than a king. He's supposed to be more than just a ruler. He's a superhero.
Yeah.
Hey, guess what? You read Saga.
I did, and boy, howdy, was this a saga ass issue of Saga. Uh,
That's a one way of fucking describing these books.
yeah. Oh, I forgot I didn't read it on my phone. I have to pull it up on the computer. Hang on.
Ha 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 ha.
Yeah, it's the one book that for some reason isn't being updated on the service we normally use.
But you've been enjoying it since this came back, right?
Oh yeah, I have really loved um Saga the whole way through. I feel like it's consistently felt like it's never missed a beat despite some of the longer breaks. Uh but there are some interesting developments in this. First off, the new secret agent that's been tracking the family finds Marco's mom in prison and interrogates her about Hazel and basically gets the answers he needs. So that's a big oh shit. And then we cut over to the planet where they were in the issue where the book first came back, and we see that Alana and Hazel are now selling the goods she was trying to sell before, and they're doing a lot better job because they can do it legally now. She has that medallion, and she kind of gloats about it to some of the cops. Who the cops on this planet are all like Human Torch, Cobra Trooper looking mans. Uh, and they're basically like, "Oh, you haven't seen The Last of Us just because you fucking insulted us on top of telling us that you were allowed to do this." Um, and then they go back and it's like, "Hey, we made like 5 times as much as we usually do because we were able to be there the whole day. The cops weren't able to run us off, so we're going to celebrate tonight." And they basically go to a space Chuck E. Cheese. Uh, and like the two tag along characters who joined the cast, I think it was last issue, are like, "This is horrible, the food is shit, there's a ton of screaming kids, can we please go somewhere else?" And she's like, "No." Alana is like, "No, this is bliss." And the narration is like, it's bliss because it's the sound every parent wants to hear. It's the sound of their kids being happy. um and we get a cute little scene of Hazel and Princeling working out their issues and having fun playing in a bunch of stuff. And then, like I said, saga ass issue of Saga, we get taken to Dick Kick City because they go home and the cops burned their house down.
Oof.
And it's like this horribly traumatic scene of, because remember, their house isn't just any house, it's a fucking living spaceship. So like they were able to go anywhere they wanted with that, and now it's gone. And you see this huge like one panel page of the house burning, and then you see Hazel's face, and then you see a flashback to a moment of Marco and her hanging out together in there. And then it cuts back and she's a little sadder and she says daddy. And it just keeps doing that shit for like 2 or 3 more pages until Hazel's in tears. because it's like the last connection to her father is gone now, and the issue just ends on Alana hugging her as she's crying and having this huge breakdown, and you can see the house burning more. And the final line is just Hazel's narration from the future, and then we were homeless.
Mm.
And it's one of the bigger, like, this book consistently tops itself from like, oh fuck, what are they gonna do now moments. But it's still very expertly written. The art is beautiful, and like it gets you, man. It gets you. There's nothing negative I ever have to say about an issue of Saga.
That's always good. Now I'm just wondering, oh shit, what's gonna happen next?
Yeah,
I'll have to listen for you next time.
Mm-hmm. I just realized you're doing with Saga what I do with Legion of X and Judgment Day.
I mean, most of the Marvel shit I read that you don't read.
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of Marvel shit that I read that you don't read, excellent number 5.
Oh yeah, that's right. That did come out this week.
Well, we get we get ultimately a reason why Zeitgeist has been doing everything he's been doing.
Oh, good.
Zeitgeist is trying to acquire as much social media clout as he can because he wants to become a living god. And he needs
goal.
And he needs 500 million acolytes, also known as followers, to achieve that. Okay. Meanwhile, the ecstatics are the standard comic book soap opera satire, you know, that kind of stuff. It's a lot of good stuff, a lot of good art, a interesting, fun new character called Toodle Pip.
Okay.
She's a teleporter. When she was 5 years old, her father committed suicide in front of her.
All right.
While saying, "This is a dear, you should realize that the lives we've been living has been getting progressively worse. Some people ripped me off with a Ponzi scheme. Our lives shouldn't be like this. We're distantly related to the third cousins of the Queen." Bang.
What the fuck?
Yeah, no, it's funny. And she's just like a morbidly curious, very distant person. So it's just like she's just hanging around, seeing what's gonna happen, helping Zeitgeist be a bad guy. And this is the end of Excellent Season 1. There's going to be a break, and later on this year they're going to continue the story of the Excellence.
Okay.
And the Ecstatics. So, that's pretty much it. Good comic. I like it. I'm always a sucker for Mike Allred. Hey, guess what? You're killing time.
I sure am. This was the best fucking issue of this book so far. Probably of the week too for me. Like I really love this just because like I've been kind of meandering my way through this series going like this is Tom King being Tom King. I don't hate it, but like I wish he wouldn't be so Tom King sometimes.
So you finally got to the point with Tom King that a lot of people have with Tom King.
It's always been that way. Like there's Tom King and then there's Tom King. And like I like Tom King. That's how I've always been.
So question, Visions, where is that?
That's Tom King.
Where is Supergirl?
This is a little more Tom King.
Where is what's the other one? Where is the other one? There was the 12 issue series. Mr. Miracle.
That's about the same level of Tom King as Supergirl.
And where's this been so far?
This has been Tom King.
And now real quick, for the audience who hasn't read much Tom King, Describe Tom King.
Tom King is very heady. He is very obviously a manic depressive person, and he writes a lot of his characters and his stories that way. He also writes them as very existential, nothing matters. This character doesn't give a fuck, even if that's not previously in their character. And he likes to play around with comic book format by like fucking with panels and jumping around in time and stuff like that. And he was doing a lot of that in this story. Um, like there's a lot of in the narration on March 7th at 5:35 a.m. in blah 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 blah. Several seconds later, several seconds earlier, blah blah blah. Like that's been all throughout this book, and I've been like, I get that it's just a gimmick. The book's called Killing Time. You're doing a thing with time. I don't quite understand it. Maybe I will by the end of the book, but okay. I'm just enjoying moments. Like I like the help. I like his dynamic with Batman. Uh I like Riddler and Cat. I like the way he writes Riddler and Catwoman together, so that's been fun. Uh but this issue kind of made it all click together
Oh.
because with all the jumping around in time and stuff, and I mean, like, there's also been like, oh, several thousand years ago, this happened, kind of explaining the backstory of this artifact that everybody's chasing after in this book. Because this is the penultimate issue. So we finally find out what the artifact is. It's the Eye of Christ. Like, it's an eye that was supposedly removed from Jesus's body and has just been passed from empire to empire. And and the legend is like, if you hold it, you will always be guaranteed victory. And it's like, whether or not the legend exists, this is too dangerous of a thing for bad people to have. So that's why Batman's been going after them. That's why the Help has been going after them. That's why the U.S. government has been trying to catch up to Catwoman and Riddler. And we find out that like a certain sect of the U.S. government were the actual buyers. The buyer we met in the second issue was just a front man. And there's this one secret agent who's been in charge of the whole operation who is going to do a handoff with Riddler and Catwoman in this issue. And she clearly just fucking hates costumed people. She's just like, fuck this, fuck these weird Gotham psychopaths. We don't need them. They had their one chance. We're not actually going to pay them off this time. I'm just going to give them the briefcase and shoot them as they walk away. And we're going to have a bunch of snipers in this park where I'm meeting them. And at the same time, Batman and the Help are tracking them. And the Help doesn't even really know what the artifact is. He's just kind of like, whatever this is, it must be important. Penguin told me to get it, so I'm going to get it. And Batman clearly knows what it is. But while they're all going to the park, Penguin gives like this huge rousing speech at the Iceberg Lounge because in this continuity, the Iceberg Lounge is like the hangout for all the goons in Gotham. It's like a neutral zone. And so he's like, yo, I know only like a quarter of you work for me, but anyone who brings me Riddler and Catwoman's heads, and I heard Batman's going to be there too. So you know what? Him too. $1,000 a head, an extra 5,000 to the person who can bring me back the thing they stole from me. And so just like 3 school buses worth of goons pull up to this park. And there's a huge massacre that's like happening in like non-linear fashion in the opening of the book. Until finally, in the last couple pages, we find out the big twist of this book is that the reason the narration has been so all over the place in relation to time, Clock King is the secret mastermind behind the whole book.
Jeez. That's a clever.
Yeah. And it's like full on animated series Clock King with like the clock face eyeglasses too. So I'm like, okay, Tom King, this was pretty annoying, but that's a brilliant twist.
This feels like just real quick, this feels like it's going to read 10 times better in the trade.
Yeah, if he can stick the landing in the final issue, This'll be the best comic book Clock King story because there's two good Clock King stories, and they're his first episode in the animated series and his first appearance in the Arrowverse.
Jesus Christ.
All the Clock King stories from the comics that are even remotely notable are like goofy Silver Age bullshit. Like
Uh,
they reinvented him to be more like the serious version in the comics, but they just didn't do much with it.
yeah.
So this feels like Tom King going, you know who's cool and we don't do enough with? Clock King. I'm gonna write an amazing Clock King story, and then maybe somebody at Warner's will see it, and he'll be the villain in the sequel to the Batman.
I have an idea. May I give you a pitch for a reboot for Condiment King?
Okay.
Literally change nothing about him but his motivation. That he misses the days when Gotham's crime was a little bit more silly. Like, Joker used to just pull pranks. Why is he killing people now? The Riddler never tried to kill you with any of his traps. He just wanted to trap you. The Penguin was a goofy guy with a mechanical umbrella. Why is everybody so mad and angry all the time now? Guess what? I'm gonna be a supervillain. I'm just gonna fucking spray you with mustard and ketchup. That's it. He's literally just there because, like, he knows Batman needs a fucking break. And if he's gonna fight Condiment King, he's at least gonna chuckle.
The man's sole motivation in life is fucking make supervillains great again.
Yes. He is literally a Flash rogue transplanted to Gotham. Like,
That's
he is
great.
the only rogue that Batman, like, treats kindly. He's like, hey, Condiment King.
He doesn't, but the thing is, like, his treating him kindly is he doesn't knock him out. He just puts him in handcuffs. But every time Condiment King shows up, he's just like, God damn it, this guy. Well,
He,
but if Nightwing's with him, Nightwing is like, ah, Condiment King!
my greatest foe, Nightwing! Like, they play it up. Like, he just sees the lack of gentlemanness in the modern day Batman rogues, and he's just like, no, there needs to be some, you know. That's my pitch for Condiment King.
All right.
Would you read that?
When you do your Batman run, he can be
Shocker.
your kite man.
My Kite Man, yeah, Kite Man, fuck yeah.
Because Tom King reinvented Kite Man, and I think I'm the only person on Earth who actually likes it.
There's a lot of people like it.
Okay. It was just Sal who didn't like it, because Sal has no sense of fun.
Yeah,
War of Jokes and Riddles was good. Fuck you.
I haven't read it, but if it's only 3 issues, I think maybe it should be longer.
Oh yeah, it definitely should have been longer, but what we got was good.
Okay. Hey, guess what was also good, but a lot of people are being shitheads about it. Zdarsky's Batman.
It's finally here, everybody. And as somebody who hasn't read the last two Batman runs,
Mm-hmm.
because I dropped after King. I actually dropped off during King, and then I went back and finished it later, just because I was a little worn out on current comics in general at that time.
Totally fair.
I don't know how in tune this is with like the development of the previous two runs. I just know snippets like Punchline exists now, Ghostmaker exists now, Joker War was a thing. I know that much. Batman lost all his money at some point recently. I think it was during Joker War, but I'm not sure. Uh, I'm looking at this and I'm like, so this isn't exactly what I'd want, having only really read Tom King Batman for the last few years, but it's good. Like, the Batman voice is a little off from what I expect. It feels like a Batman from like 10 to 20 years ago, but it's still good Batman from 10 to 20 years ago.
I definitely think Zdarsky's gonna have to get into the role a little, get into the mindset a little bit more, cause I liked it, I enjoyed it, but I've also been reading a bunch of Zdarsky over at Marvel,
Uh-huh.
And his and like we say this a couple times. There's a little bit of a different track of mind you got to take when you're writing for Marvel versus DC.
Mhm.
It's not a big thing, and a lot of people can easily do it. It's not a hard thing. It's just more of like there were moments in this where Batman sounded a little bit like Daredevil, sounded a little bit like Moon Knight, sounded a little bit like
Yeah.
the Marvel-y tone,
Or he's just kind of like some of the stuff he says as Batman to criminals sounds a little like Nolan Batman to me. And
Right.
I'm and that's how Batman comics were written at the time. And I'm like, has Zdarsky just not been reading Batman comics for the last 20
I mean, I
years?
wouldn't blame him. He's been busy.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. I do think he's gonna slip into it more as time goes on.
Mhm.
But what I've seen, I have enjoyed, and I've also just been incredibly annoyed by all the fucking fan reaction to it.
Yeah.
Oh my god, just all like there's so many inconsistencies. Maybe because it's a flashback. This whole issue is a flashback.
There's like a few moments that take place in the present.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Also, I just saw a bunch of complaints about like why is Catwoman sleeping around? And it's just like, first off, buddy.
If anybody in the DC universe is going to have an open relationship, it's Batman and Catwoman.
But also,
But
secondly, bud,
oh, that was in the past.
nothing in that scene definitively says she slept with him. They're not in the
Hmm.
same bed. He just comes in and goes like, "Hey, I got coffee for you." He could have slept on the couch.
Yeah.
You don't know shit.
Hmm.
And I guarantee you, Chip Zdarsky put that in there to go like, this will piss him off.
Yeah.
He does
He's
that.
just trying to rock the boat.
Yeah.
It's how a new writer gets your attention.
I don't know.
And it's like, it's 10 times better than whatever the fuck is happening in Spider Man.
I will say this: the last two issues of Spider-Man have been leaps and bounds over the previous three.
But that's because they're not dealing with the shit that annoys us.
Yeah. It's the shit that's good.
Yeah.
But speaking of good shit, hey, a lot of fun interaction between Batman, Oracle, and Tim.
Hmm.
Uh, the whole plan at the gala was fun.
Yeah. Which, by the way, is the other thing that makes me think Zdarsky hasn't read Batman in a while, because the only characters in this besides Batman are Catwoman, Oracle, and Tim Drake. I'm like, he's just writing Batman that was around when he was reading. He's just writing his Batman. And, like, that's fine, but I just find that funny.
Yeah. And have a feeling the more he writes, the more it's going to be not his Batman, but his Batman.
Oh, yeah.
He's just trying.
We'll see Damien eventually.
Yeah, I have a feeling it's more of like he's trying to figure out. He's coming from a place that he knows, and he's trying to figure out, okay, where can I take it from here? Where can I
Yeah.
take Batman from this place that I know of Batman to a new place?
Yeah. And also, just so it doesn't seem like I'm fucking being a hypocrite here. Tom King's Batman barely did anything with the sidekicks too. Like that was a Batman book.
And I enjoy Tim in this because he's a genuine partner. He cares about Batman, and Batman has a genuine back and forth with him.
Hmm.
It's nice.
I also just love the aesthetic of Bruce wearing just like slacks and a button-up shirt and the Batman mask.
Can I
I'm
just
like,
say, I love that look because it just makes me go, fucking pirate. He looks like
yeah,
Zorro. He looks like
yeah,
Zorro.
yeah. Todd, make that figure, please.
It's fun. But yeah.
The Clayface interaction was a little harsh considering
Yeah.
a recent history, but like if you don't know that, if you're just like, oh, new Batman starting point, let me jump in, it works fine.
And here's the thing. I will say I kind of vaguely know a little bit of that history. I think this is very much, hey, I don't know where you are right now if you're fucked up or not. This is just a contention. Help. And Clayface is like, yeah, all right, let me help.
Yeah. Also, like I was just amused because that's very clearly the design that is the Clayface figure Todd just put out.
Synergy.
Yeah, I love that. I love it when they do that. I love that IDW is just using the current toy models for characters in their books right now.
Yeah. Also, this cover is beautiful.
Oh yeah,
I love the use of Tim Drake as the bat symbol.
uh huh.
That really Batman is the people around him, which I think is going to be a minor theme going forward. Not necessarily like Batman needs a Robin, which might be why Tim Drake is here, because Tim Drake was the major proponent of that in the 90s of like Batman needs a Robin.
Yeah.
And this is Batman going like I need help. There might be some Batman Incorporated. I'm not don't quote me on that. Don't think
Well, the backup is interesting too. Did you read that?
with Catwoman, yeah.
Like, because fucking major plot point in this is that Penguin dies, and that kind of up unstabilizes the underworld a little bit. And then Catwoman's at the Iceberg Lounge, and they're like, "Yo, you want a job? What's the job? Go find all of Penguin's bastard children so they can be here for the reading of the will."
Which is going to be interesting. That might be like a little new cavalcade of baddies or like a new gang,
Potentially.
like a penguin gang. Ooh,
Mm.
maybe a little refresh reboot on Penguin.
Or like a play on the Batman Beyond Joker gang.
Maybe. See, my mindset was like one of the kids is going to be like Cobblepot Jr., like just straight up a penguin like dude, and the rest of
Mm.
them are going to be kind of similarly Arctic bird esque themed. Not necessarily like I'm the puffin, you know,
I'm an emu man.
like a little less like subtlety, but it,
Yeah.
like they're kind of like collectively they're the penguins.
They're gonna be the roses of the DC universe.
Yeah. Oh dear God, it's the rose. You guys are getting your own rose. How do you feel about that?
I mean, all right, I guess.
So real quick, over under as a DC fan, this Batman, good, bad, ugly? So we're just
It's
gonna
all
copy
right.
them.
It's all right. I don't love it, but I feel like I could fall in love with it down the road. You know?
Yeah, I'm already hooked because I'm a sucker for Zdarsky. I'm the Zdarsky Marvel fan, you know.
Yeah. I'll give it a few more issues. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah,
I want to at least get out of this arc first.
I think by issue 3 something's gonna happen because that's kind of where Daredevil stuff happened.
Mm.
And Daredevil and Batman are good comparisons to each other, you know.
Yeah.
Hey, tell me about Dark Crisis.
This issue feels a little decompressed. I'm not gonna lie, because basically two things happen in it, which is we resolve the attack on Titan's tower. That's like the bulk of the issue,
Uh
which
huh.
is which is basically um Slade and Nightwing are fighting. Or I'm sorry, Deathstroke and Nightwing are fighting. I'm used to calling him Slade from the Teen
I
Titans
mean, you're
cartoon.
not wrong. Also, hello, Hell Nightmare. How you doing, buddy?
Now, but no, there's a bunch of chaos. There's a bunch of like low level supervillains that I've never heard of as part of Deathstroke's army, and it's like, oh, I'm this isn't the only attack. There's going to be a bunch of these. We're going now that the Justice League is gone. We're going to make a statement and say that there will be no more capes. Get fuck you. Also, for everybody who fell for that obvious trap of a panel that said bang in the last issue. Beast Boy's alive. His brain's not where it's supposed to be because he's a shapeshifter. And Slade was curious about that because Slade's a fucker.
We're pretty
Uh,
good, Hell. We've just been talking comics and getting frustrated at people and not getting frustrated and getting happy about comics because comics are good.
yeah. Also, if you were like me and worried about character inconsistency, because I was like, wait, I thought Slade was trying to be a good guy for a little bit there. Uh, Apparently, he is under the influence of Pariah and the darkness from before the multiverse. So
Question:
that
does this have to do with anything with the person who was behind the source wall?
I don't think so. No, because that was like a Snyder thing, and
Yeah.
Williamson has been doing his own thing.
Okay.
Uh, but John Kent shows up, tries to help them out, and then Hank Henshaw, Cyborg Superman, which I have to specify that for those of you who don't know, there's two Cyborg Supermans now. There's Hank Henshaw and there's Zor-El.
Why? Why?
It was a good arc. It was like one of the few good arcs
Is Hank
in
Henshaw a
Rebirth
good guy
Superhero.
right now?
No, Hank Henshaw is a bad guy, and he starts beating the fuck out of John Kent, and is like, "You're not your dad. You can't hope to defeat me." And John Kent goes, "You're a fucking Reed Richards parody. Get out of here." Uh, and then the villains all leave except for Cyborg Superman, who gets one shotted by Cyborg, and he's like, "Fuck you, Henshaw. You've been given a bad name to cyborgs for too long." And I'm like, "That's cute."
Yeah.
Uh,
It's probably somewhere in his gut, hell. Or if we go by shapeshifter like tropes, he might just be like vague goo. Like he doesn't
yeah,
even have a brain.
yeah. I think he's a goo man.
Because like Plastic Man doesn't have a brain. He's just goo. I
Does
think
Reed Richards have a brain?
yes, because fundamentally he does not change his molecular makeup. He is just stretchy.
Okay. Uh, but in the aftermath, Black Adam shows up and is like, well,
I
this
am
just
now
proved.
Poochie. Anytime I am not on screen, everyone must ask, where is Black Adam?
I have a movie coming. I am important. The Rock will play me. Fuck you.
Do you smell what I'm cooking?
What I'm cooking is my own Justice League, because this proves that Jonathan Kent is not fit to lead the Justice League, cannot save people. He let this Tower disaster happen, even though he had no idea it was coming. I'm I'm going to be the big swinging dick now. Goodbye. That's the scene. Uh, and then we cut to deep space somewhere where fucking Kyle Rayner is breaking out of a space prison. I don't know how he got in space prison, but he's breaking out.
Is he still
And
the
then
White Lantern? Last I
no,
remember, he was like a light White Lantern. Is he a Green
I
Boy?
think yeah, he's a green boy.
Okay.
But then uh sorry, I was trying to remember a character's name because they're new. Uh John and Joe Mullen, the Far Sector Green Lantern, show up and or no, not John, god damn it, fucking Hal. They show up and they're like, "Yo, shit's going down. We need to go back to Earth and help." And Kyle's like, "All right, bet. But what are free human Green Lanterns gonna do against an army from the dark multiverse? I'm glad you asked. Final page reveal. I brought the entire Green Lantern Corps."
Cute. I like it when the Green Lantern Corps becomes an army builder.
Yeah, that's basically the entire issue, and
It,
it's all right.
it
It
feels
just
like a good
feels
half an issue.
yeah.
Question: are there any like fun fan favorite Green Lanterns in the background of that? Is there what's his
I
name?
mean,
Poser
Kill
Kilowog.
Kilowog and Stell are there. I should let me pull that panel up on the big screen. See
Is
if
the
I can
dog
find
guy
it.
there?
No, I don't know, but he should be.
I like the
Uh,
dog guy. I know he's just a gag character, but there's something fun about him. You know, Scooby
yeah,
Doo if he was a Green Lantern.
Gnort is his name. I just remembered.
Nort.
Dark
Nort.
Crisis.
Hold on, folks. Vac is doing research.
I'm getting it up on the big
Does Kyle
screen.
actually keep his White Lantern ring because if he was really powerful as a White Lantern, and in some comics, keep him? So I don't know. Last I heard, he was a White Lantern. I haven't been keeping up with what the fuck's been going on with Kyle.
The last time I read anything Green Lantern, it was Tom the Tom King book that was a Green Lantern thing about what was it called? The like Infinity Men or the Immortal Men or something like
Yeah.
that is one of those. Okay, so of the Green Lanterns I can identify in the back of this shot, we have Guy Gardner. We have Simon Baz. We have Jessica Cruz. We have Aricia. We have fucking
Is Aricia the ex girlfriend of Hal?
yeah, the who they retcon to be a space elf.
Okay.
Um Kilowog, a monkey man whose name I don't know. That one guy that's like a bean and has
Oh
free
yeah,
arms
I
on
love
either
that guy. I always
side.
love seeing him.
Yeah, the guy who's like a crystal with a Green Lantern belt and squiggly arms and a mohawk is there. Uh, the Rock Man is there. Oh shit, Rotlop Fan's there. That's awesome.
Oh, which one's that one?
He's the blind Green Lantern that
Oh
was
yeah,
created by Alan Moore.
and he has
Um,
like his symbol isn't a lantern; it's like a sound thing.
yeah. Oh, I forget what this guy's name is, but there's the background Green Lantern that you see a lot of the time, who's like a Cyclops with like a celery head. He's there. I only ever remember him because Mattel made a toy of him. Uh,
Something to be said about all the fun background Green Lanterns that they always reuse.
yeah, there's like a lady who's got like octopus tentacle hair. She looks cool. Uh, yeah, solid Green Lantern background characters.
Yeah, I don't remember. I haven't been. I don't read Green Lantern a lot, really. That's genuinely the last thing I remember Kyle Rayner doing.
I'm very on and off with Green Lantern. I'll usually read like the first couple issues of a run, though I haven't done that since Rebirth.
I think I need to go back and read Grant Morrison's. Just
Yeah.
because, we're all sluts for Grant Morrison.
Oh no, Grant's run was post Rebirth. I read the first couple issues of that.
Yeah.
I got up to Green Lantern versus God, and then I was like, this is a little too Grant Morrison for me.
You know what? This is a little too Grant Morrison.
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of green things, you read Poison Ivy.
Yeah, this issue is slightly better. Uh, in that it doesn't just feel like a generic, like, yeah, if I was going to write a Poison Ivy story, this is what I do, which is what the first issue felt like. There's like some fun character stuff where like she's spending the day at a diner dispersing these spores that she wants to use to kill off all of humanity. And of course, she's monologuing about how the fucking environment is fucked and we have to do something. And the only thing we really can do is just kill off the human race and blah, 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 blah. And she meets this um, lady person who's like, hey, there's no other seats free at the diner. Can I sit here and eat? And she's like, yeah, I don't care. And they start talking a little, and she's like an interesting person who it seems like Ivy is like, if things weren't the way they were, I might want to get close to this person, but not right now. And then the cops show up and they both go, oh my God, they found me. They found you. And it turns out this lady is like a drug dealer. And so Pam helps her escape. Um, and then we get a flashback to her having an argument with a character I don't recognize in Eden, who's just like, you don't have the green anymore. You need to fucking get over it. But that's why I can't get over it. I had the green and it was awesome. So now I'm gonna fucking kill everybody. And I'm like, is this book gonna do anything else? Like I don't know. I don't want to call this book bad, but it just feels like we're hitting the same plot beats over and over again. Or the same character beats. I don't know.
Yeah, here's the thing. I think it's going to start moving in the next one. It feels like this is Poison Ivy gets her groove back.
Yeah, a little bit.
My
A little
girlfriend dumped me and now I'm angry at the world. Oh, wait a second. Meet cute?
bit. Yeah.
But overall, okay? Okay? Not
It's
great,
all
not
right.
bad. It's okay.
Mm-hmm.
You know what's fucking fantastic?
What's that?
Ghost Rider.
Oh my god.
This shit is fucking sick.
This fucking guy.
It's legit. If you like super horror themed, supernatural, hero esque stuff, you need to read Ghost Rider, people. Okay. So Johnny Blaze wakes up drunk on a toilet, and he pulls a Terminator. Like, he's hungover because he was Ghost Rider the previous night. And so it's taken a lot out of him. He looks up at the ceiling. There's a message. Exit 666, okay? Ghost Rider's telling them where to go. A dude knocks on the door and goes like, what the fuck are you doing, bud? And he goes like, oh, hey. Punches, knocks him out. He steals his clothes, steals his bike, and goes to where Ghost Rider told him to go. He gets there, and the town is abandoned. Not like a ghost town. Like, legit, gas pumps are still pumping. Fires are still going. Lights are turned on. Doors are just open. It's like everyone just decided all at once to leave. And he goes from town to town in a line, and it's the same thing in all of these, like, middle of America podunk places that no one ever pays attention to. Until he finally gets to the current town, where people are walking to a place. And it's a circus. And the people are all kind of like mind controlled in a daze. And the ringmaster comes in and he's covered in blood and goes like, people, welcome to the circus where you are the act. And he points to this mechanic dude and he stands up and goes like, yes, you climb up the trapeze and dazzle the audience. And the guy climbs up, grabs a trapeze, starts doing a thing, falls to his death. And then you see a montage of the circus just killing an entire town through depraved circus-themed deaths. Like a clown is just continuously stuffing people into a car. Yeah, or a lion is just like chomping on people's heads as they willingly put their head in there.
Huh.
It is horrific and like, oh god. And you remember, oh yeah, Johnny Blaze was in a circus. This is real fucked. So Johnny Blaze shows up, and he goes like, oh, Ghost Rider. Ah, he's Ghost Rider. And Ghost Rider starts fighting them, and they're going like, buddy, what are you doing? You don't even know half the shit that's going on with you. Bye. And Johnny Blaze wakes up in the middle of the road, no idea how he got there, and he's going like, the writer usually tries to put me in a safe place. He must be really out of it to just leave me here. And Ghost Rider wrote a message. I need you to go here, ride like hell. And it's just like, this is Ghost Rider. It's Ghost Rider. It's fucking cool. Read Ghost Rider, people. I'm not saying you have to read Ghost Rider because you're not super into this, like, spoopy horror superhero stuff.
Yeah, this doesn't seem like it will be my fun.
It is like, it is gasoline and fire and blood and yeah.
Okay, John Moxley.
Literally, this is a very John Moxley book. John would probably love this book because it's just violence and like pathos, and it's like yeah. So yeah, Ghost Rider, it's good. Give it a shot, people. Bum, 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 bum. You read Power Rangers.
I read Mighty Morphin. It's a different thing. They're two different books. Get with it, you fucking scrub.
I am talking about the franchise, you dipshit.
Okay, so Mighty Morphin number 21 feels a little more out of step with the last issue of Power Rangers than I expected it would.
Oh.
Because the last issue of Power Rangers before that and the previous issue of Mighty Morphin both had the same cliffhanger, which was, oh my god, Jason's mom died. And I feel like they should have been two slightly different cliffhangers that built into each other. Like, we should have had Kimberly being in one book, and she finds out and she goes, oh my god, we have to get to Jason. I have horrible news. And then the other book should have had Jason, your mom is dead. So we could have had things feel a little more natural. That this book basically sidesteps Jason's mom being dead. It's just Kimberly shows up at his house and is like, hey, how are you doing? I made you some food because I figured, you know, your mom's dead, so you're a guy, you can't cook, lol. And Jason's like, oh yeah, this will be really helpful, thank you. And then he walks into the kitchen and they just have so many home cooked meals people have made them out of sympathy. That like their fucking countertop is covered in Tupperware
That's
containers.
cute. I like that.
Yeah. Uh,
Because it
and
just shows
then
that people are caring. It's just like sometimes sympathy can be overwhelming for people in grief.
yeah, and like the boilerplate isn't always the right choice. Uh, but she goes outside and she's catching up with Trini because they haven't seen each other in a minute. And like Kimberly was off for a couple of days, and she's like, "Oh my God, I have so many fucking notifications and messages to reply to." Who and Trini's like, "Yeah, try being off Earth for 6 months." So that's like a fun little, oh yeah, that's right. This is taking place in current day kind of thing. It's not the 90s with these characters. But then they do a 90s thing because Trina's like, "Oh, you know what we haven't done in a while?" And she's like, "No. Yes." And they go to the mall and they hang out and they try on clothes. It's fun hanging out kind of a thing. Um and then they talk in the food court about the fact that the Omega Rangers remember Shattered Grid, but nobody else does, and it's kind of fucking with their heads. And Trini basically kind of info dumps on Kimberly, and she's like, "Ooh, that is a little fucked up. Maybe we should do something about that." And she goes to Billy, and she's like, "Hey, is there any way we could improve our arsenal at all?" Yeah, why don't you go get Tommy and we'll give this idea I've had in the back of my head for a while a try. And
Oh, Theo.
no, better. It's the fucking metallic armor.
Son of a. No!
Here's the thing though. That's like a way better implementation of it than there is in the show.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying it isn't, but it's like, oh, we need the hot new fucking Transformer. We need the new Autobots. Say hello to these random Euro motherfuckers that had one toy.
Yeah. That's
It's
pretty
just
much what it
like,
is.
they've also been hinting at Zeo for the past how many issues?
A while. But then they start fighting and they're in like a Power Ranger holodeck that draws power off of the morphing grid. And Billy's like, "Now be careful, don't use these for too long because we don't know what the it's going to be drawing a lot off of the morphing grid to use the metallic armor. So we don't know what kind of effect that's going to have." And then it turns into a fucking Star Trek The Holodeck is turning evil episode in the last couple pages because a fucking wormhole opens up and just making sure I have everybody here. Trakina, Sledge, Daishi, fucking Void Queen, and Rancic all come out.
So wait, you're telling me that they're not willing to use Rangers from other seasons, but
But they're
villains.
just they're gonna bring in the villains for a cameo fight.
All right.
It's a weird choice. It'll probably be fun, but it's weird.
It'll be fun.
Yeah.
But overall, okay book.
Yeah, I like it. Not as good as the last issue of Power Rangers, but the last issue of Power Rangers was like a 10 out of 10 masterpiece, so.
Well, I read Sabretooth.
Oh boy.
Okay. A lot happened, but also not a lot happened. A lot of implication happened, but nothing
All
said
right.
outright.
Okay.
Okay. So basically, Sabretooth tells Cypher, Warlock, and Krakoa, hey, one of two things is gonna happen. Either I stay down here and keep corrupting shit with my bad energies, or you just let me go. And they're like, alright, we don't see any other option. It's better to let you go. And so Sabretooth escapes while people he implanted a seed of rebellion into commit his plan so nobody sees him leaving the island. Nobody knows he exists. Nobody knows he's here. He's leaving the island.
Interesting.
But Mystique and Destiny find him and stop him. And they're about to, like, stop him when Destiny gets a vision and goes like, fuck. Mystique. Because we don't see what she says.
Oh.
And Mystique goes like, you can't be real. Fuck. Get on the fucking boat, Sabretooth.
He has a plot point in Judgment Day.
So he gets on the boat, and Mystique goes like, do we really have to do this? And she goes like, it's for the better. It's for the future of all mutant kind.
He has a plot point in Judgment Day.
Oh, I'll explain that in a moment.
Okay.
Meanwhile, back in the pit, all the people that have, all the other people that have been in the pit are talking to Cypher, and Cypher goes like, yeah, so we let Sabretooth go. And they're going like, what the fuck? Why did you... Hey, hold on. He was going to corrupt shit, and it was going to get worse. And they're like, did he say anything about us? Because that was the whole plan. He was going to try and get us all out. And he's like, yeah, no, he didn't care about you. He used you. And they're like, fuck. We got used by Sabretooth. Meanwhile, Nanny, Orphan Maker, and Toad show up because remember, they're also in the pit. We just haven't seen them.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And they just show up and go like, hey, what's up? And Cypher goes like, all right. So here's the thing. I'm going to let you all out. Partially because I don't want to see what the subconscious of Koa will look like with Nanny in charge. And she goes like, fuck you. Like literally, it's like, that's the exchange.
Okay.
It's cute. And he goes like, what I want you to do is to go find Sabretooth, plant this seed beneath his feet. And the person he gives it to goes like, will this kill him? And he goes like, no. But he'll wish he'll be dead. Ooh, implications.
Damn. Cypher.
Cypher getting cold.
Cypher's having his beast arc.
Yeah. And meanwhile, Mystique and Destiny are having that little conversation of like, do we really need to do this? Yes, he's important for the future. As we cut to a scene, as we cut to Sabretooth on the boat, and he's going like, all right, I'm going to do some shit. I'm going to be Sabretooth. Person leaving Krakoa. Fuck you. We are Orcus. We are putting a goddamn power dampening collar on you, and you are coming up to talk to us. And Sabretooth goes like, son of a bitch. And he goes up to Orcus, and then Destiny goes like, there is something important for him in the future. As we cut to what looks to be a flash forward of Sabretooth in a wheelchair with a blanket on his lap, with a ton of people surrounding the boat saying, come to me, my exiles.
Oh shit.
For people who do not know, the Exiles are traditionally a multi-dimensional X-Men team. And Sabretooth might be leading them? What the fuck is going on here?
Wasn't a version of him on the original Exiles too?
I think so. I think he was a good guy there. So yeah. This is the 10 Lives of Wolverine, 10 Deaths of Wolverine of the current era. It is a book that doesn't seem like it should be dealing with all that much, but then it deals with everything.
Interesting.
And I think it may have like one more issue and then it's done, or something along that lines. I'm not sure. I wish Marvel did the thing that DC does when it's a limited series and goes on like, do you know how this has 5 right there?
Yeah.
This is a minor complaint. It's fine. It's not the end of the world.
Hell Nightmare in the chat. I feel called out when you say for those of you who don't know.
Hey, Vac also doesn't know sometimes.
The only reason I know anything about Exiles is because I watched Linkar's retrospective on the original book.
Yeah. Hey, guess what I also read? Jane Foster and the Mighty Thor.
How was that?
Everyone's freaking out because they can't find Thor. Kind of a lot of most of this. It's just Jane Foster trying to figure things out.
Okay.
It's good. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I think there was more happening that I don't remember. Let me pop open the comic real quick and see. Because I could have swore there was something else there that was like I was getting a little hype over. It was like fun and cool.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, like the reason Thor got was he was basically he was taking a little bit of a golf break and he was hunting a deer, but it kind of he got into like this weird liminal magic space where things could happen and hurt him, and the deer turns into like a centaur lady and kills him. And like he goes like, oh shit, things are happening. Fuck. Hammer, go to Jane. She can fix this. I trust her. So Jane's on the case, solving the mystery. She's working with Thor. Meanwhile, a bunch of elves attack Asgard, and the Asgardians like protect themselves. Jane goes to Bourbon Street and talks to Brother Voodoo briefly, and like just trying to figure things out. And goes like, "Hey," and Brother Voodoo basically goes, "Hey, Thor's kind of like in limbo right now. That's kind of where things are. He's in a weird area of limbo. That's why none of us can find him because it's in like a median space. Here we go, information, all that kind of stuff." So it's just like Jane Foster gets to where she can go to limbo. She goes to a library that's like on the edge of limbo. She talks to the librarian there, and he's giving her no options and things. And then Sim, you know the demon that's like the arch enemy of Magic, the
Not
character
really.
Magic.
Oh, that guy.
Yeah, he shows up and says, "Don't mind him, sweetheart. He likes to play with the food. I personally just like to put it out of its misery." So we're gonna get a fight between Jane Foster and him next issue.
Neato.
Yeah, Nito Burrito. See, I knew there was something more, but it was like it can be summed up as Jane Foster tries to solve the mystery,
Yeah.
which like accurate. It's more than that, but I'm enjoying the book. And finally, we both read Amazing Spider-Man #5, Legacy number 899. This was fun.
This is fun. Not quite as good as the last issue, but fun.
No, but there was a cool moment between Spider-Man and Tombstone
Yeah. And a
where,
cool moment between Spider-Man and Black Cat.
yeah. Well, like I like the moment with him and Tombstone where he basically gets one over on Tombstone and goes like, "Ah, you are learning. Okay, look, sorry about all that. Hey, I just need you. Like, I'm just playing the game." And Spider-Man goes like, "Yeah, no." And I was thinking about what you said, Tombstone. You know what? I'm sorry you had to live like that. And Tombstone just goes like, "You're the fucking weirdest man I've ever met. What the fuck? Get
Yeah.
out." And it's just like, I like that. That's fun.
Yeah. Uh, I really enjoyed the Black Cat interaction too, because it just feels like no, they're just friends now. It's full
Yeah.
on just like, hey, I care about you. I know you're in a fucked up place right now. Is there anything I can do? No, leave me alone. All right, let me know when you're feeling better. We can have some fun.
Yeah. And the issue ends with Peter Parker having lunch with Aunt May and making amends and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's solid.
What the? You get some good issues like this in the last one, and you go like, what were the first fucking three?
Oh, oh, oh.
Also, next issue is issue 900.
What do you think they're gonna do for that?
A big celebration explanation of what's been going on and how it deals with Spider-Man and what it means for being Spider-Man. And half the book is backups by legacy creators that are just fun short stories.
Yay! I'm so excited.
I mean, we're gonna get it. I have a feeling we're gonna get an explanation of what's been going on.
Uh-huh.
But overall, I think Spider-Man was good. I think you think,
I liked it.
yeah. Overall, comics were solid. I don't think that we had
Yeah.
any super standout moments.
Uh, I'm feeling a little lackluster on Poison Ivy, but other than that, everything else was good.
Yeah. But hey, you want to tell the people where they can find you? Because this is the end of the podcast. We have nothing more to talk about.
Hey, I'm the Vacuuminator. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
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 Ah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
YouTube.com/the Vacuuminator, at the Vacuuminator, at the _ Vacuuminator. Try those things, you'll find me.
Alright, cool. I'll fucking explain myself. Hey, do you want to see Twitch streams? Twitch.tv/Boingo Rider. You want to TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram at Boingo_Rider. You can see it right next to my logo. Hey, you want to see YouTube videos? Search for Boingo Rider. Yay. Do we have anything else we need to talk about?
Modular Media. Like, comment, subscribe, follow at the Modular Media, send us SDCC
Yeah.
news, join the subreddit r/Modular Media.
Yeah. Do you have any final words?
Contextless love and thunder spoiler. Yes, father.
Cool. Odin's back. Nice. Okay, real quick. I don't need to know any specifics. Hercules, good, bad. Cool. Enough said.